we're just going to go to very advanced topic here with Mitch, who recently defected from Scientology. Essentially, he was the right-hand man to David Miscavige in terms of his Hollywood productions, or whatever you want to call the films and propaganda they did. And I'm going to let Andrew take over and read a part of a very interesting Daily Mail article. And he went on the tangent that Mitch knows something about Shelley Miscavige, and that is very interesting, but I want to go on to some other one or two key details, which I think are more interesting and amusing.
Bought me the juicer because he said he was concerned for my health. Miscavige was also a big fan of receiving lavish gifts. Well, of course he is. Brisker recalled he circulated a wish list of gifts every birthday and Christmas, and members were expected to get together and buy him items on it. So he's gone around, just punched you in the face, thrown you in the hole for several weeks, and you've got to get him a birthday present, lest you be thrown back in that hole. This doesn't sound like a cult I want to be a part of. Brisker continued, there were things like $700 designer shirts, expensive cameras, he loved camera gear, music, he loves thumping music.
So apparently David is very into giving gifts. Okay, it seems like he's not that bad a guy. Oh, no. The giving of the gifts is a bit of a fraud. He just is doing that so he makes it psychologically necessary for you to give him gifts. Not a shocker that David likes getting gifts. But I did think one of the most amazing things being revealed, and it's so out in the open now, is that, wait a minute. Okay, I could understand birthdays, but Christmas? Christmas? Like, really? And yet I double checked, and yeah, a lot of Scientologists very openly celebrate Christmas, and you think, well, why is that controversial? Well, really there's 2 to 3 major things going on. Maybe I'll just concentrate on 2 of them because they are pretty laughable when you think it through. One is, and to be fair to Hubbard, depending on which quotation, which publication, gotta be fair to him, he changed his mind about a few things. But according to some quotations, he literally denied Christ existed at all. He wasn't even denying, well, Jesus is a prophet, Jesus is divine. He denied Jesus existed. He thought Jesus was apparently a movie memory implanted by Xenu or some other people millions of years ago. Jesus never literally existed. Okay, that's out there. All right, that's pretty out there. But to be fair to him, he did relent in a few other places. Okay, no, Jesus does exist. But he had a nice magical way of solving, well, wait a minute, if Jesus does exist and he's the divine son of God, shouldn't we follow him? Oh, no, because you misread the Bible. Because see, here's the thing. The Antichrist is the good guy in the Bible. That's a major flip I've never heard of, but okay, we're going to go with that. So apparently David's moved away from that quite substantively because... And I want to focus a little bit on Jenna Elfman because I've always been fascinated by her in particular because apparently she grew up Catholic and she married a Jewish man. That's where her name comes from. Elfman comes from her husband who's Jewish and he got her into the religion. So this has got to be really strange. So they have technically an interfaith marriage. And I just keep seeing her at these Christmas ceremonies with Danny Masterson. And we'll put aside for now the Danny Masterson scandal, because Danny's showing up as Santa. So I keep thinking to myself in my head, did David flub this stuff from Hubbard? Because on many things, yes, they've scrubbed away some of the racism, the homophobia. They've tried to be careful, selectively using his book, selectively using the passages now, because of course, some stuff is way too shocking. I mean, he's advocating genocide in a few places, so you gotta be careful. I understand that. But did he fudge Hubbard just enough in order to make Christmas respectable, just so we can get gifts? That would be pretty insane that, okay, yeah, this Christmas thing, we're not gonna fight it. I like getting gifts, you like getting gifts. I like getting gifts from Tom. I like giving gifts to Tom. We're going to ease up on this whole Scientology thing and fighting Christ. But I will say this. Apparently, if you do go up these OT levels, the higher you go, you will eventually reach the level where you say, there are no gods. So at the end of the day, you will have to deny God. You will have to deny Jesus. So I keep wondering to myself, do women like Elfman... And I guess Danny, yeah, he never got that high. We got to be fair to him. He probably just doesn't care. But I wonder, does she just go to these things and laugh at people because inside her own mind she knows there's no God, there's no Jesus, this is purely symbolism? I'd like to think otherwise, but who knows? Maybe they've changed the OT training just enough that it's like, well, God doesn't really exist and Jesus is not really who you think he is, but it's fine to just keep the symbolic value of these things. Maybe David Miscavige did change the OT training just enough to keep that part of Christianity, just to make Christmas a normal part of their ceremonies. They're willing to let that go to get a lot of gifts. That's pretty damn narcissistic.